So there are puberty blockers that girls start with sometimes, and boys at very young ages. They can start as young as 8. Usually 8 to 11 is where they start on these. And although sometimes they do it a little bit later. And they're just beginning to understand the risks, but they are significant and they're already coming out. So we know now that certainly there's a huge problem with bone density. There's a very high risk of everything that goes along with bone density, from splitting teeth to insufficient bone development, there's a concern also about not reaching peak IQ, because hormones shower the brain. They don't just operate on those areas of the body that will, sexually mature. So there's a concern that the mental development won't be the same with these kids. But again, we don't entirely know all the risks. If they go on to puberty blockers, not only is there a risk of infertility with puberty blockers, but if they go on to cross-sex hormones, infertility is all but guaranteed. So with testosterone, which is a cross-sex hormone,
that's stage 2, right?
Yeah, that's typically stage 2. These women are getting shots 10 to 40 times what their bodies would normally handle. Again, we don't exactly know what will happen to them long term, because we haven't, I hate to use this phrase, but it's accurate. We haven't been experimenting on them for long enough, and that's what we're doing. We're experimenting on these kids. But right away, we see within the first 3 months, their voices tend to deepen. They tend to get more masculine facial features. Their shoulders broaden. They tend to redistribute fat. They're at much higher risk of cardiac event, and they tend to. And they get facial hair, and there's also alterations to their private anatomy, female anatomy. A lot of those don't seem to go away. The facial hair doesn't seem to go away. The changes to private anatomy don't seem to go away. But then
the voice doesn't change either, right?
The voice changes, and that often doesn't go away. They're stuck with the masculine voice forever, or at least it seems like forever. Again, we haven't been doing this long enough to really know. But then there are the other things, the psychic benefits, and that's part of why so many girls were attracted to this. They get a certain euphoria from going on testosterone, and it suppresses anxiety, which is these girls' chief problem. So in many instances. So they tend to feel really good when they go on testosterone. Now, there are other ways to suppress anxiety, but they feel good, and the first thing they want to do is tell their friends.
Men are good at being angry at everything, and it works. You forget about the other person, and you're happy with yourself. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so they do. They feel good about themselves when they start testosterone, and it feels tough. And it feels good not to feel weak and vulnerable. And one of the things that you go through as a young woman when your body changes is the first thing you feel is a new vulnerability that you're not used to. And it's scary. It's absolutely frightening when your body changes as a woman, and a little alarming. And those are the kinds of things that your girlfriends and your mom, sometimes, depending on how well you got along with her, but definitely your girlfriends helped you feel better about. And today, we're not seeing that as much.